We are. It is it's that one thing we always talked about that we always waited on. Worrying it would happen and today was that day. Unsuccessful, thank God, but you know, we we knew it was only a matter of time. Normally don't do this on our channel, go live, especially from a cell phone, but I felt like it was only appropriate to address you guys. Um, we went live on the air on Talk 99.5 for a couple of hours, kind of just rapid reaction. I mean, what do you even say in those moments? What's up, Big Dave? Um, and I gotta say, on a personal end, here's what happened with me. I get a text message from a friend. I absolutely love this guy, great friend. Uh, and he says they just assassinated Donald Trump in Pennsylvania. Now, he had gotten a text from a friend who was obviously just relaying very rapid information, not understanding the full story. But that was what I got first. That was my first notification of this, which told me that they actually did it. They successfully did it. And so, y'all know me, my heart sank. I was just like, this can't be real. Felt like a dream for a minute, nightmare. And so I immediately ran to the TV, flipped the TV on, and I'm seeing the images. This is just moments after it happens. I actually had forgotten about the Trump rally. Otherwise, I'd have been watching it. I always watch them. Uh, and so I see it, and then it shows him being picked back up, raising his fist, and what is going to be the most iconic photo in all of politics. There's going to be nothing, um, nothing that matches that. I mean, those photos make the Trump mugshot look like child's play. And ironically enough, I got this from my mother-in-law. It's a whiskey glass that I was using tonight. And as you see, I've used it a lot. So as you see, it says 45 Donald Trump. It's got his signature on it. But what's crazy about this glass I'm using, it's got a bullet lodged in it. And obviously, when they made this, it was just a cool thing. Hey, we love the Second Amendment. We put a bullet in the side of the glass. It was just a cool look. But I think it's a reminder that Donald Trump is taking literal bullets for us. Like, literally at this point. He used to say, it's not me they're after, it's you. I'm just standing in the way. Well, here it is. And they're going to take him out. They tried. I mean, in reality, at the end of the day, God was watching over Trump. I mean, that's the only thing that saved him. Once you look at the mechanics of it, look how close it was. We were centimeters away from talking about a dead Trump right now. Centimeters. And it was all because right before the shot was fired, he turned his head just slightly to move to the teleprompter or to the screen or whatever. And that's why it got him in the ear. There's pictures as well that look like he's got a bullet hole right below, it looks like right below his heart. He was wearing Kevlar, he was wearing a bulletproof vest, and that stopped that as well. I think the shot that hit him in the ear may have been like the third or fourth shot. But just crazy. Alan says, Memo would be pissed right now. Yes, she would. Um, I just, it's surreal. It was, because obviously I see it going on. Valerie Viding hits me up and she's like, hey, we need to team up. It's just what we do at the station. We're all always on the same page. If there's a big story, we're getting on the radio and we're letting people know, even though, there's not as many people listening to the radio on the weekend, but people are on the road and stuff and they can't sit there and flip through TV channels. And so we immediately hop on, and I mean, my hands were shaking. Like, I was still trying to process it while we were going on the radio. And I'm thinking, I don't even know what to say. I couldn't even figure out, I had not processed it. I had not been able to even think it through. And I was so flipped out where, for those of you that listen to the show, not long ago, or over the past few days, I talked about how my panic attacks have been getting better, and then I've been able to combat them. They've not been as severe like they were at one time, but it was the first time like I felt another one coming back. It wasn't debilitating. It didn't paralyze me or anything, but I haven't had my heart sink like that in a long time. I mean, I went to the grocery store this morning and I bought hamburger meat and a pack of chicken. And I went, after I was getting in the car, I went and put the buggy in the buggy corral outside. And then I got home, started bringing the groceries in, and realized the chicken wasn't there. And it hit me, I left the chicken in the buggy outside. And my heart sank then too. But obviously nothing like this. I was pissed about my chicken. But again, there's only so much you can say. I'm hoping we're going to be back in the Over the Line studios early next week, maybe mid next week. We got the RNC coming up Monday. I've got UFC over here playing in the corner. And there are reports out there that Donald Trump was planning on going to the UFC fight tonight in Denver and that he's still going. Don't know if that's true or if they're going to even allow that to happen. I mean, I got to imagine the Secret Service is like, nah, you ain't going nowhere else tonight, Cole. But I don't put it past him. If anybody's going to do it, it's going to be Trump. But outside of that, coming up this Monday, 48 hours from now, Donald Trump is going to be at the RNC convention accepting the nomination for the Republican Party. And he's likely going to be bandaged up. I mean, he'll at least have something going on his ear from where he's got that wound. And so as we see him, it's gonna be another iconic photo, just like him raising his fist. Let's see what this is saying.
The investigation of the incident involving former President Donald Trump that occurred earlier today in Butler, Pennsylvania. Special agents of the FBI, Pittsburgh field office responded immediately to include crisis response team members and evidence response technicians. We will continue to support this investigation with the full resources of the FBI, alongside our partners at the U.S. Secret Service and state and local law enforcement. Anyone with information that may assist with the investigation is asked to call their tip line. We'll put it up on the screen in a minute. It is 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI.
So you got the FBI putting out a statement saying that they're taking over the investigation. Secret Service is going to be involved in this investigation as well. And I know there's photos of the alleged shooter who y'all have seen as like the guy that was on that rooftop or whatever. People are posting the pictures of him like up close with his brains blown out. And, I mean, in a situation like that, you're probably going to get your brains blown out. But it's unfortunate that we can't get in this guy's head or figure out what exactly he's doing, why is he doing it, and hopefully we can find out who he's connected to. Is this a larger plot with multiple people involved? Is there multiple shooters? We don't know. Dave or D. Hayward says, way too close. Honestly surprised this hasn't been attempted sooner. God's watching out for all of us today. FLS says he took the rooftop challenge and lost. Yeah, he did. It's just, man, those images. It got there for a minute while we were on air, and it was just, I got multiple monitors going, and I was just like, as they replayed the footage of when it happened over and over and over, and I almost got to the point where I'm like, I can't keep watching this. Like, I was getting nauseated. I went out there and I looked at my pepper plants and kind of fiddled around to distract me, but I said this on air too, like, I'm cynical about this stuff. There's a level of cynicism that you gotta have to be in this business, and where we do get fired up on the show and all that's genuine and organic, we still have somewhat of a ceiling to not just blow our lid, flip our lid. And, it's easy for us, even behind the scenes, to not get as bent out of shape as, say, you guys do, or anybody for that matter. But today was like so different. It was like there was this emotion that overcame me that I don't know that I've ever had in my time keeping up with or covering politics. It's like I couldn't control it. Like I said, my hands were shaking. I felt like I was going to pass out at one point. Oh, man. FBI, ask anyone with information on the Trump rally shooting, call 1-800-CALL-FBI. I don't have a lot of faith in the FBI either. But there's another photo, and if y'all are on YouTube and Twitter and all that, you've probably already seen it. You had somebody in the press taking a picture of Trump speaking and snapped a photo at what seems to be the exact moment the bullet passed by his head, because you can see this like little streak behind his head where it just, and again, I'm sitting here watching his reaction as he gets dinged in the ear, and he just kind of jerks and grabs his ear, hears more shots, and then gets down. Yeah, man, so hard to believe that this is even real. Again, hopefully we get back in the Overline Studios. We will be in the next few days. I just don't know what day yet. I'll, if I have to, I may go live this way for the Republican National Convention. Not sure how all that plays out, but I wasn't going to get on here. Trish is like, you need to get on social media. She actually tried to send me to TikTok first. And I said, I don't have enough followers on TikTok to go live. I got to have 1,000 followers. I had like 10,000 on my last account, but they banned me because I was talking about Trump. Trump's so evil. If you follow me on Twitter, I want you to go look at this. I posted a video from CBS just moments ago, CBS News. And the anchors are talking about how Trump supporters need to lower the temperature. That they're the ones creating the violence and making tempers flare and everything else. And I'm like, dude, Trump almost got killed and another supporter was murdered. And that's what you've got to say. And then the half-hearted response from Biden and Obama both. It's, I don't know, man. Just watching again that him going, fight, fight, fight. Donald Trump is the baddest MF alive. Even watching UFC over here in the corner. Like, Trump's the baddest. I mean, who else would do that? There's another aspect to this because we don't know what the next few days hold. But you have to wonder a couple things, stuff that's really irrelevant, like will he hold any more rallies? Should he hold any more rallies? But another thought is, what's his reaction to this? Like, once things calm down, the adrenaline wears off. Does he take a look in the mirror and say, man, I was almost killed. Is this really worth it? Everything else he's just brushed off to the side, but, you know, at this point, you're kind of like, what if he does do some reflection? What about his family? What about Melania? What about his kids? His grandkids literally just watched him about being murdered. Do they say, it's time to hang it up? Or do they encourage him? I don't think he would want to hang it up. But what does his family say? Hey, babe. Yeah, they, I don't know, man. I don't know. Again, I've been nauseated throughout this whole thing. I have these, still having moments where I feel like I'm going to pass out. That's what I told Trish. It's just, I don't know. And some other things watching, like, the crowd's reaction, how the crowd didn't even dunk down until after Trump dunked down. And then they all kind of casually stood there. Nobody started running off. There wasn't a big stampede. And then they just sat there and watched Trump. And once Trump got up, pumped his fist, and they started pumping their fist. They started chanting USA. So Trump supporters deserve to be credited for being just as tough as well, because you think if something like that would have happened at a Biden rally, what do you think those attendees would have done? It would have been a stampede, which you can imagine what it looks like when those people run. But the reality is, that kind of stuff doesn't happen in Democrat rallies. That kind of stuff doesn't happen against Democrat politicians. It's a one-way street when it comes to this type of violence. Go back to the congressional baseball practice shooting against Republicans. Steve Scalise was almost killed. Our representative here in Birmingham, Gary Palmer, all these other guys. People were shot by a crazed lunatic, and, you know, not much longer after that, here we go again. Ronald Reagan. We all remember it. It's just, I don't know. Thank y'all for hanging out with me for a minute. Again, we normally are in the podcast studio, but the guys are out of town. Y'all know John Bird's on vacation, and I kind of need those guys to be able to broadcast. But if they were in town, we would have immediately gone to the studio and started broadcasting, and we'll be covering all this, obviously, in the very near future. We'll be covering this on the show Monday. I'm already kind of working on what I'm gonna talk about Monday on the air. But it's just, I think my DoorDash just arrived, by the way. Is that my DoorDash? It's my wife. She went and picked up food. She knew how distraught I was. She wasn't gonna let me go. Thanks, Maggie, for subscribing. Appreciate that. Go check out our other videos, Silver Tears. Cherry's here. Richard, is that Richard the Cop? Thanks, buddy. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I didn't really know how this was going to go because I've never just gone live from my cell phone. Um, not on YouTube. So I'm like, is anybody going to want to watch this on YouTube? I see Sean Hannity's talking to RFK right now. Let me just get a minute of this real quick.
This is the most divisive time in American history. It was very much like today. Most divisive since the Civil War. There were riots in over 100 cities that summer. Martin Luther King was killed 2 months before my father.
So he's reflecting on other assassinations that have happened in our history. Brings up Martin Luther King. You know, it always seems to be those that go against the Democrats that face assassination attempts. RFK Jr. is a guy, no matter what you think about him, absolutely deserves Secret Service protection. And the fact that the Biden administration has denied that time and time again is absolutely sickening, and everybody on both sides of the aisle should be outraged by it. This is not just a guy who had his dad assassinated. This is a guy who's had assassination attempts on his life since he started running for president. Twice, maybe 3 times. And the Biden administration won't offer Secret Service protection. And I don't know that they will after this, even though this is a stark reminder about how vital it is. And then the other question, for a lot of people, several people had messaged me and said, how did this get by security? How did this get by Secret Service? I don't know. I got friends in Secret Service, some of which were there tonight. And I know all those guys are good guys. Majority of them are America first, freedom-loving Americans, and they will give their life for Donald Trump or really whoever they're protecting, even if they don't agree with him. But questions definitely need to be answered as to how that could happen. If you see the map, let me just show y'all the map real quick of the rally. See that right there? It was just kind of almost seems like it's out in the country where there's a few buildings kind of scattered. Why do I have closed captions on here, dude? What's going on with this? Get those captions. Did they think just because RFK was talking I needed captions? So you can see that map and that AGR building, I'm assuming, is what the building that the guy was shooting from. How did you not spot that? I mean, right now it's irrelevant as long as they're beefing up security. We do need those answers, but I just cannot stress how thankful. Did y'all hear that? RFK just dropped his mic while he was talking to Sean Hannity. It sounded like a bomb went off. I cannot express how thankful I am that God was watching over Trump. Again, for those of you that have just joined us, and by the way, like and subscribe. When I first was notified of this, I hadn't flipped the TV on. Trish and I had just gotten home. We were doing some errands. The first text I get is they assassinated Trump in Pennsylvania. And it was a good buddy of mine who wasn't giving me false reporting. That was what he had been told by a friend. And the first thing he did was text me. He had not flipped the TV on yet either. And so I don't know what I looked like, but I'm sure my entire demeanor shifted. I just texted him back. I'm like, no. That's not true. That can't be true. And so I flip on the TV and it's wall-to-wall coverage and I see images of Trump with blood on him. And at that point, I'm just scrambling to try to figure out if he's alive or not. So all I was worried about it in that moment was, is Trump alive? And it was up in the air there for a while. We didn't know. We knew he pumped his fist and he seemed all right, but you know, took a few to get word from Secret Service or the Trump campaign. And so I think that was the worst part of it. And then at the same time, Valerie Vining calls me and says, "Hey, Leland's on. If you can hop on with him and let's cover this." Val went straight to the studio. AJ went to the studio, and so as we do as a team, we all get on top of it. Anytime there's a big event, whether it's weather related or politics or any sort of big event, you know, they've been working as a team long before me, but I'm kind of like you guys that listen to the station, where y'all know how they operate, and I was the same way. Even when I was working in another station and was technically Leland and 99.5's competition, I was listening to him every day. I was listening to Leland's show every day. Loved that show. I was a Leland Live fanboy. Long ago, even when I was driving a pickup truck around Birmingham, Alabama, I was a everyday listener. And so because of that, I kind of know how they operate, and I know when certain things happen exactly what's next. Like, what do we got to do? When I joined 99.5, there was no training course. There was no guidelines as to what I need to do, or this is how we do things, this is how you need to conduct yourself. I got nothing. There was no orientation. There was no explanation as to what I need to be doing next. It was like, tell us the name of your show. You're going to start at 12. The time was 12 to 2. What's the name of your show? The Line. Okay. You got an intro? Of course I got an intro. Boom. There we go. And that was it. It was the start of Andrew McLean. And since then, not one person, including upper management, has ever come to me and said, you need to do this one way or another. That's outside the point of us working as a team, but it's a rare thing. I don't know what the word is, but it's a rare situation we got going on at 99.5. One being local radio, but two being radio shows where corporate's not dabbling in your business or forcing you to do your show a certain way or telling you what you can and can't do. That's the reality of radio now. Unless you're a national guy, you get bossed around and you're told you can only do this, you can only do that. But most stuff across the country is national now. But Birmingham, Alabama, and Alabama in general is very lucky that they've got local guys that they can hear from in moments like this or in different big events. And it's not just national news, and you've got to, listen to people that you'll never run into at your local food giant or whatever, when I run into you guys in public. And for me, not to make this whole thing about me, but I've lived here my entire life. I grew up no further than 45 minutes from Birmingham. I've never lived any further than that. Grew up in Blount County, Locust Fork grad, and it's just the power of live and local radio. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate my lovely wife who is in the driveway. Are you in the driveway? I think she's still in the driveway. She's got my food. Oh no, she's in there. I hear you. I was reading your comment where you said you were in the driveway. I was like, are you still in the driveway? Steve says, hey now, Trump, God bless this man. Exactly. Top-notch team at 99.5. Jerry says, I love 99.5 because you all keep it real and informative. Yeah, that's all we know how to do. But keep your eye on this channel. If you're just coming across this, subscribe. I promise you we're going to put out good content on a regular basis that I think you'll enjoy. You don't have to love us, just kind of like us enough to subscribe. We're really trying to do something special here. And don't forget about the radio show, Talk 99.5, Birmingham, Alabama. You can find all that stuff on talk995.com or andrewmcleanwho.com, which has got everything you need. If you have not visited that website, I encourage you to do so. andrewmcleanwho.com. It's got all of our videos and different things that kind of make it easier to find and ways to live stream and everything else. So I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all have a good night. I'm gonna continue to watch UFC to see if Donald Trump shows up, because I don't put it past him. Rumors say he's still going to UFC, so we'll see. But I will definitely see everybody on Monday. Hope y'all have a fantastic night. As soon as I figure out how to get out of here and in this,